So I doubt anyone knows really who I am. So I'm Noelle, and I am a military spouse and a full-time Beachbody coach. And the way I became a full-time Beachbody coach was really by accident, and it was mainly because my husband and I were moving from Florida to North Carolina because of his job. And I just had to make it work. I had to either find some, not so great job or make this Beachbody thing work. And at the time when I first started Beachbody, I was working full time in marketing. So I had to carve out my time specifically to get the basic behaviors done. I was literally like a slave to my business activity tracker, and which I assume you guys all know, like, or at least have one that you've seen or used before. And I just any chance I got, like in my lunch break, I would just friend request, do something, check, 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 check. And then I'd get home and right after dinner, right before bed, I'd check, 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 check some more, then go to bed. And I felt like looking back, I was so much more productive then because my time was so limited. But then when I became a full-time Beachbody coach, I had to figure out, wait, I have all this time. I'm like on spring break 24/7. What do I do? So that was actually, I got really lucky because one day I was just scrolling my Facebook, which we all shouldn't be doing too much of, but I'm glad I did it this time because Brittany Leggett posted a resource that she created that she uses to help her stay on task every single day. And so that's what I wanted to show you guys, and then I can also post this in the group.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. Okay.
Okay.
It's just a half sheet. And this is mine for today. And on this, I'm actually going to share my screen so I can actually walk you guys through it because it's on my screen right now. So hold on one second. Okay. Sorry, my desktop is a mess. So hopefully you can focus on that. You all see it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, great. So today's focus, which I think is really important to have a focal point because it's so easy for us, if you have a full-time job, if you stay at home, part-time, whatever, to at least have something to focus on. So if that's 10 life, if that's helping 2 people a day, if that's creating a video that you've been avoiding for the past 2 weeks, make that your focus so that you get it done, okay? The first row of boxes are projects. I consider being on this call right now a project because it's something that I planned ahead of time to get done, so I'm going to show up for it. Other projects would be emails that I need to send out, or I'm actually reading off what I'm doing today, or creating some videos for one of my trainings. Then you go down to this next row of boxes, people to contact and waiting to hear from. This is really helpful for me because I don't know about you guys, but my inbox on Facebook can be ridiculous. And it's so easy to get sucked into that. And something that Brittany actually said, because I was listening to a call to refresh my memory on exactly why she uses the system. And she said that oftentimes if we're a slave to our inbox, we are always reacting instead of being proactive. And I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but always being oh my gosh, this person's having a problem, must deal with it now. Oh, they have a question about Shakeology, must deal with it now. Instead of kind of being in control. So people to contact are typically people who've already asked me questions that I need to answer right away. Or someone who I've been forming with for a while, and we're on a good rapport, but we need to keep going, and I need to kind of decide, is this a yes or is this a no? And then waiting to hear from. So it's really helpful to have these names here so that when you do have time in your inbox, you know who to look for, okay? And then life priorities. This is really important for me since, again, I am at home all the time. I have to take care of things or else I wish you could look around my house because it's kind of a mess. So certain things are on there like laundry, going to the post office, things like that. And then there's a little video brainstorm box, which is also something that we as coaches really need to be doing more of. Even if you're a you're not new coaches, but for your new coaches, this is something that we should be encouraging them to do because it helps put them in that leadership seat, It helps them to work through problems, things like that. So I always try to do at least one video a week. And then over here on this long column, Personal Success Club points. I run 2 accounts, so I have 2 spaces here. My goal is for what coaches I want to help get to Success Club. and then who on my team that I need to encourage. And that just puts you in a good spot of gratitude and, remembering that despite the fact that you're working, like, you still need to love on your people, right? Okay, so that is my daily task. And I always try to get this done before like 3 p.m. Or I try to give myself a deadline. Again, because I am from home, I need to have that deadline or I'll be working all day long. And that's not the freedom that I'm trying to create for myself. Now, if you work full time, this is still a really great thing to do because you have tasks that you know that you need to accomplish before going to bed. And so you feel like you've been productive and that you've done something in your business, despite the fact that you might not be able to have a full power hour, right? So the other thing I wanted to show you, there's my Facebook, is my business activity tracker. And let's see, how do I hide my doc that's in the way? I don't remember. I can't think right now. Whatever. You guys get the idea. Okay, so this is a sample from last week's business activity tracker. And I've adapted this over time for certain things that I really want to make sure that I do every single day. And what I do with this is I set a timer. Okay, so once everything on this list is done, I go through and do my power hour. Okay, and I set, there's a, I brought the wrong notebook. 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. I've created a power hour, and this is also something that I did a lot of when I was a full-time, person. I had a job. And this helped me because I did this throughout the day, and I felt very productive. So here it is. Okay. I spend 5 minutes friend requesting, 10 minutes in noon conversations, 20 minutes following up, so clearing out my inbox. And this is, again, after I've already looked for the people that I've been in contact with. I spend 15 minutes creating a new post, and then 10 minutes sending out direct invites. And that's it. And then I just track it here. And I always try to beat the clock. And I always try to have better numbers the day, as you can see here, it's progressed from 25 to 33 to 47, things like that. And this has just really helped me because I like feeling organized and I like looking back at certain things. But yeah, that's really kind of all of the materials that I use to try to stay on task. It's not perfect, obviously, but again, this has really helped me to just feel like, man, I was focused and productive because, there's so much more to coaching than just, talking to people. There's especially when we're at this level where we have teams that we need to be reaching out to. So creating anything and finding something that is small and duplicatable, that's the right word, for my team, I really tried to do. So do you guys have any questions about what I've shown you? I'm going to stop sharing. And if this was helpful, if you wanted me to talk about anything.
Yeah, no, well, I have a question on the initial one that you said from Brittany Leggett.
Mm-hmm.
So on there, yeah, I'm trying to remember what the topics were inside, but finding people to follow up with, are those people that, during your power hour, you're like, okay, I need to follow up with them tomorrow, so you plug them into that page for the next day kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I forgot to mention that. So with this daily focus sheet, I do it every night roughly before I go to bed, so that I can kind of clear my mind of things. And it's just from people that I was talking to during my power hour. So this is it's kind of like backtracking what I did yesterday, finishing that up, and then setting myself up to be successful for the next day. That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
And then another thing that I forgot to mention is either I do this before bed or I do this right when I wake up. I do a brain dump, and I learned that from Shalene because it's, you have so many things, so many projects, so many ideas running through your head. So I always have a brain dump of things. And I always try to, and that's how I figure out my projects from that. So those are, I guess, 3 things. This daily focus, brain dumping, and having a tracker.
Do you keep any names electronically anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
So what system do you use?
Yeah, well, I'm actually working on transitioning to Streak, which I know a lot of us have been talking about. But the old-fashioned way, because I always like to track who I'm talking to. Let me share my screen again. It's just like a Google Doc. Okay. In my drive. It's just this Google Doc here. And well, these are all the people I've messaged recently. I haven't heard back from. That's okay. And then I try to like have like, you know, what did we talk about? Things like
Yeah.
that. And then sometimes when I am searching for people to follow up with, I'll just look, oh, these people haven't responded to me. I'm going to reach out to them again. You know what I mean? Or like all the way at the bottom of this list, where went too far. Oh, I haven't talked to that person since 2014. Probably should try to talk to them again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think she's on Facebook anymore. But
I was using Streak, and
he said was.
I was so in love with Streak. I got on here. I like was geeking out over Streak. I made a video. I posted you guys my video. But it lacks the ability for reminders. And so I switched over to Asana. Well, I'm transitioning over to Asana. It doesn't lack the ability. You have to pay for reminders. And it's like $50 a month.
You can do reminders on Streak.
Every time I go to do a reminder, it tells me that I need to upgrade to Pro.
It sends me emails all the time. I don't pay for Pro. I do reminders, and it sends me an email. You need to contact whoever today about Shakeology or whatever it is, unless they
How long have you been using it?
I've been using it for maybe 2 to 3 months.
That's so weird because I was using it for like
right now, but I swear, like I just did one the other day, but maybe it's been a little bit longer than that. But yeah, I
was using it for like a month, and then it stopped letting me send reminders. Every time I set a task for a reminder.
There's a way when you set it up, like.
Well, anyway, I've transitioned over to Asana, or I am transitioning. I still use Streak though for leads and putting people into autoresponders.
It's so hard to keep up with leads sometimes.
Right. And
Robin.
Sorry. Keep going.
I have a question for Robin with you mentioned autoresponder. Tell me about that.
So on Streak, I used to do ACEO.
I did too.
I've tried everything. Okay. Because I liked the autoresponders. You would set them up and you would push one button and then they would get a new email every 7 days from you that talked about different things. I paid for it for like a long time. And I guess I'm prefacing that because I took the autoresponders from there and copied them as snippets into Streak. Do you guys know how to use the snippets? Do you want me to share really quick?
Well, I use Asana personally, so I don't even know lingo from Streak.
Right. Okay. So that's the reason so now I'm going to kind of be using both because I use